Hello and welcome to episode 25 of our Fat Loss in 15 series. So, first off, if you hear any weird noises, Freya has just decided to eat her food. It's been out for about an hour. As soon as I've started recording this, if you hear any grunting and weird burping, that is what it's like living with a French bulldog. So, making a wee bit of a change to what I'm doing on these episodes too. So, I'm actually trying to get a wee bit more into the YouTube, into the podcasting, and even on social media. I've been making a big effort to share more of my personal life and the behind the scenes running of the business. And it's something that I've always kind of fought against doing just because I love coaching, but I never really wanted to get into the social media side of it. But just the way the industry is trending, and I mean, I've been coaching for 10 years now. Is it getting boring? Not really, but I just like to challenge yourself. So I'm just trying to reflect on that and share more of behind the scenes and the personal side of it. But I find it really difficult to do. So I'm going off on a weird tangent here, but what I'm going to do is change the format of the episode. So I'm going to talk about one personal topic, go into depth in that, go into professional, what's happening behind the scenes, and then delve into a wee bit of fat loss and how you can take action steps at certain times of the year, what's going on right now in the fat loss industry. So first off, I'm going to share a personal topic, and that is last week, or 2 weeks ago now, I can't believe how quickly time's gone by, myself and Lucy completed the Belfast Marathon. And then the following weekend, we had our gym's 4th birthday annual Boots and Beers Monroe climb, followed by a few drinks. So the marathon was an experience in itself. And I've always wanted to do one. And then we had a real strong reason to do one because Lucy's uncle just suddenly died out of the blue. So we wanted to raise money for the British Heart Foundation, which we did, managing to raise over $3,500, which I thought was absolutely incredible. Thank you to everyone, if you're listening or watching this, who donated. But the marathon in itself is an experience. It's not one that I'll ever repeat, but it was great in itself. Just the environment, the whole feeling of accomplishment, and just doing something that I feel at times has been a wee bit trivialised on Instagram, because you see people doing back-to-back marathons, 50 in a row, or ultra marathons, or doing all these in crazy Ironmans. It is still such a long distance, but I am happy it's done. The training was getting a bit crazy. I mean, you work 4 or 5 hours on Saturday, then you've got to go run for 4 hours. How are you meant to have a social life around that? Answer is you have to organise your social life around that training, so it ends up getting dropped. I'm happy it's done. I'm the fittest I've ever been, but what also happened is did a wee bit of what I'd call reverse body composition. Because you're running so much, you get really hungry, and if your diet is not on point, and also I never added in, I wasn't doing much weight training because I was running so much and focusing on the business so much. I wasn't doing much weight training. So what was happening? Yes, I lost weight, but I actually lost muscle and then lost a wee bit of fat. So my body actually looks worse now than it has in years, even though I'm super fit. But yeah, totally off plan, off topic. So marathon, big experience. If you're wanting to do one, I would say you do need to have a lot of time to do it, but it's definitely worth the accomplishment right there. Which brings me on neatly onto the professional topic that I want to talk about today, and that is, simply put, the all or nothing mindset that people took about fat loss. I had this chat yesterday morning with my longest serving client. So Margaret's been with me for just under 10 years, and in about 2019 we had an amazing run of it, and she lost about 25 pounds over about 6 months. But when she was doing that, her whole life was about this fat loss. She was putting everything else on the back burner so she could lose this fat. Yes, she was strong, she was fit, she lost loads of weight, but she didn't leave much room for much else. And with Margaret, and with so many other people we talk to, they always see it as it's either you got to do everything or you do nothing. And there's this real black and white thinking. Whereas actually it's a sliding scale between 0 and 100. Yes, if you put zero effort in, you're going to get zero results. But if you put 100% effort in, you're going to get loads or rapid results, you get really good return on your effort, but you're not going to get much more out of the rest of your life. You're going to have so much stuff that you have to sacrifice. But it doesn't mean you have to do one or the other. You can meet somewhere in the middle. So we all say to clients, what is it that you're not willing to give up to achieve these results? And the longer that list is, the slower the results are going to be. But if you understand that and you ask yourself this question first, you can then manage your expectations around what your results are going to look like. The biggest frustration we see is people who are putting in 50% effort but expecting 100% results. If you understand that if you're at 100%, you'd lose £2 a week, but you couldn't do anything, but you're only willing to do 50% effort and lose £1 a week, but then you're unhappy about losing £1 a week, that's an expectation problem, not an execution problem. So I would never recommend going 100% all in, because it leaves you in only a short-term win, and you're going to fall off that plan and you're going to struggle to get back. So always should be looking at managing expectations, asking yourself what you're willing to sacrifice, and you can move along this sliding scale many times throughout your journey, and then manage your expectations around what you're wanting to achieve and what that will look like for you, and then you can actually get long-term lasting results. Which brings me on nicely to our fat loss topic, and that is, we're fast approaching the summer. This weather has been fantastic, and what we see every year at this time is the holiday panic mindset. You know you've got a holiday coming up, so what do? You slash calories, you massively increase the amount of workouts you're doing, you massively increase your step count, and then you get real good short-term results. But what happens? You burn out, you're really sore, you're hating it, you have no time for anything else in your life, so you fall off, you burn out, and you end up going on your holiday in the exact same position that you were in when you started this rapid cut, and you feel worse for it because you feel like you put in the effort and it's never going to change. So this is the 100% burning out and getting back nowhere. Whereas if you took like a 60% effort, you could have sustained the effort for longer. So your action steps for today is ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve, what are you not willing to sacrifice to achieve your goals? Write that list down, and then it's so much easier to manage your expectations, and when you're managing your expectations well, you're never going to be disappointed. All right, a wee bit of a different Fat Loss in 15 podcast today, and I have no idea how long it's actually ran for. Shorter than expected, but hopefully it was a good one. Let me know how you think about this new sort of episode, and I will speak to you next week. I'm literally just about to record that episode right now because I've got this stag do coming up at the weekend and it's going to be busy.